to block people from going in certain areas.
Sacramento. Esto es para que vean lo que es cambiar de canales aquí. Esto es en Sacramento. Miami.
And Mr. Floyd, that it's just unbearable what happens.
Should probably just go home.
Boston.
The message was good and it was received. Point. Should probably just go home. The message was good and it was different intentions, and it's just unfortunate.
For the last
Chicago.
months, and the liquor stores were open and groceries were, but so many of them have been just struggling to get by, and now this.
The leadership that he
Boston.
has been exhibiting, continuing communication. And unfortunately, we don't have leadership at the national level on this, so mayors and governors
so there'll be a point in time where they
Los Ángeles.
But these side streets, as officers were protecting the promenade, and as officers were making sure that people were protesting peacefully over on the other side, they basically left these streets somewhat open. And we'll just take a look out here. So obviously you have this intersection blocked off. But Colleen, you take a look down this way, and this is... there are no police officers down that way blocking people.
New York.
Blocking the area, and now the police. So the fire engine here are gone, and there are more police officers coming in now.
So you're watching.
Is wrong, and change needs to happen now. And Ennis Cantor joined in as the crowd chanted in honor of George Floyd.
I can't breathe! I can't breathe! I can't breathe! I can't breathe! I can't
Esto fue en Boston.
Curfew started.
Atlanta.
So the difference is striking in the number of people we saw at 7, 7:30, and 8 to what we're seeing now, a very small number of protesters, an extraordinary police presence.
On the other side, but they're just standing here. They're actually not needed right now, which they will tell you is perfectly fine with them. Back to you.
Yeah, Randy, had you seen while you had been out there in Chicago, protect communities, keep people safe? Again,
Chicago.
we don't know exactly what the specific duties for those members of the Illinois National Guard were.
LaSalle, and then they walked up to get a closer view, vantage point of Trump Tower from various angles. So, Marissa, Vince, where are you now? What are you seeing? I see officers there on horseback behind you.
Tonight. We're going to get to that in just a minute, but first, let's go to Skycam 9. Shannon Halligan, are you there?
Yeah, so this is the group of protesters that we saw going off of Lakeshore Drive onto 47th. So this is that large group of them on 47th right now. It looks like a few of them are on the ground kneeling while holding up their sign.
Protests started peacefully in Pittsburgh yesterday, but after about 3 hours...
Pittsburgh
Public Safety said 43 adults and 1 juvenile were arrested during Saturday's protest in downtown Pittsburgh. They ranged in 8 city listed. About a third of the
Member in
Chicago.
of about 5, they were loading stuff into a car, and they said, all right, let's get ready and go to the next spot. So it makes you think, is it...
Into the mode of
Seattle.
They have called out additional even private security guards. You can see, like, if you don't mind,
Todas las noticias son iguales. Devastación.
Set up outside businesses, fire going off in the middle of the street as well. We have actually, this is...
Los
we
Ángeles.
understand the emotions that we are all experiencing throughout our community, and we want to send a message of unity. And is a story of looting and crime, and that is a story that is now going to end. We understand that this peaceful protest was not part of the looting that has been occurring.
Day happened
Houston.
when the crowd at CUNY Homes split in half by race.
We want to be forgiven, and we want to make a difference from this point on.
The white parishioners got on one knee and apologized to the black community for generations of racism and injustice. The black community responded by kneeling down as well and uniting in prayer.
It just clicked. We need to show a symbol that we truly do apologize for.
Tremendo. Lo mejor que he visto hasta ahora.
With Colin Kaepernick taking a knee, this just tore us apart. I thought, we're going to take a knee to unite us.
And I think there's a sentiment that that mission was misunderstood.
Organizers Trey Nine and Johnny Gentry said they're trying to set the standard by referring to this movement as a protest to distinguish themselves from the violence that's transpired in other parts of the country.
Let's not tear up our cities. Let's not dishonor authority. Let's not dishonor others. Let's do what we have to do, but keep it respectable and honorable so that
in the city of Santa Monica, we're working to bring about and restore peace and end the criminal activity. We are being aided and assisted by our fellow law enforcement agencies in Los Angeles County, to whom we are
very unsafe. Like, next time you better do this for
Chicago.
us. I think it's important to be seen and heard, and I think that's what some people think the rioting does, but it's, I mean, you're damaging local owned businesses, you're damaging
near the White House throughout the day. And we just learned President Trump was moved to the White House bunker on Friday night during protests out of an abundance of caution. This as demonstrations across the country grow after last week's death of George Floyd. In Minneapolis, a tanker truck drove through a crowd of protesters who then dragged the driver out of the truck. Jeff Pegues, CBS News Chief Justice and Homeland Security Correspondent, is in Minneapolis. Jeff.
Chip, indeed another busy day in Minneapolis, but this is where it all started, with the looting, the fires, and the arson, and you can just see the destruction that is left behind here. The good news is right now, 8 p.m. or after 8 p.m., curfew in effect. The streets, look around me, they're pretty clear. You do have large groups of police officers in the streets trying to maintain order and make sure that nobody gathers in the street.
Carrying out essential activities, such as the press, such as someone going to a job, are exempted from the curfew. This is focused on, and the intention of it is to be able to have a tool to reduce some of the volatility. We saw, particularly last night, when many of the peaceful protesters, many people who came from different parts of our city and region to have a voice about police brutality, went home, and we had a few individuals who started
a force in downtown Atlanta to get things under control after what started out as very peaceful protests. And unfortunately, in part of this, the message got lost. So many people were marching and protesting. One man was asked, "Why do you do this?" He says, "Because I'm black and I'm tired." And so many people want to end injustice. Let's go to
protesters that started these fires across
Columbus.
America. It is police brutality and a racist criminal justice system.
Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison telling Fox News Sunday more charges could come for Chauvin, and the 3 officers still out free.
We are very early in this process.
Pictures of car burning during a protest in Long Beach. A scary sight to see. And right here in Central Florida, there is a curfew in Orange County that started at 10 p.m. and goes until 5 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Aquí empezó el curfew a las 7:30.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Cleveland.
And see how one sheriff opened his ears and his mind and helped open the hearts of his entire community with one moving gesture. When Fox 8 News at 10 continues.
Stupid to be mayor.
Indianapolis.
Look, you cannot put jobs of ultimate responsibility in the hands of incompetents. The mayor of Minnesota should resign. When he gave
In New
up
York.
that precinct, he caused this whole thing all throughout America. You don't give up a police precinct and let the hoodlums burn it down. What do you think is going to happen? It's going to empower them. all these small towns.
And signs that it's burning, but these flames have
DC.
really started to pick up in just the last minute or so. So this happened very, very quickly. And now we have this fire that is burning in the middle of the road, just about a block away from the White House. So we are here on H Street, and it looks like the fire is burning
Washington,
between
D.C.
16th and 15th Streets. Again, we have to go down there to get a little closer to see exactly what is on fire, but just from what we're able to...
You can see firefighters working to put the flames out earlier this evening. So far, no word if this was related to today's protests. Of course, we'll keep you posted as information comes in.
No se sabe si es related.
Right now, over looting happening at Broad and Glenwood in Philadelphia. This is a shopping complex there, and you can see that the stores have been broken into and that there is debris everywhere. People grabbing what they can take.
8 of them
San Antonio.
Destroyed. No word yet on the cause. And we just got this guy's mugshot, 25-year-old Noah Escamilla. He's in jail for a case of graffiti on Travis Street early Friday morning. He's also suspected of spray painting the historic Alamo Cenotaph. Protests continue across the country with increasing levels of violence. We'll show you the cities feeling the worst of it.
Heavy rain and thunderstorms.
Kansas City. Cincinnati. Kansas City. No se oye. Yo no sé porque yo no prendí el mute. No se oye. Esto es en Kansas City.
Curfew violators,
Atlanta.
and they have the right people in custody.
All right, our Tom Jones reporting for us there from Cortland, and J.W. Dobbs. He's been watching protests happening tonight. The main focus there, Centennial Olympic Park, and we have showed...
has been looted and somebody has set the place ablaze. It does look like
Long
they
Beach.
may be getting ready to enter, but the fire department has just arrived here.
California.
The smoke is dissipating a little bit, but if you look very closely there is still smoke coming from the front door. Up again at Long Beach Boulevard.
Una farmacia CVS se está quemando.
Fire here in Long Beach.
A lot of fireworks, but they've been huge lately.
Esto fue en Tampa.
Moving forward on the line, John, let's get in front of this tree and just stay right here and use this tree as any cover. All right, John, I'm going to stand behind you. Stay right under this tree.
Esto es en la 22.
Right? They are firing beanbag rounds. They're not beanbag rounds, rubber bullet rounds.
Esos son los apartamentos de housing de los negritos.
Police are moving back. They're doing it. He just was pepper sprayed. Right there, police.
I shouldn't say that, but...
Tear gas or smoke. Tear gas or smoke. Just advance the line up.
Officers pushing these people off the street so cars can drive through here.
Aquí en Tampa.
Let's see, we've got... officers on top of... Okay, we've got water bottles being thrown at vehicles, being thrown at officers here. We've got more officers showing up behind us here. Those are pepper bullets you can hear being shot toward these protesters. You can see some of those protesters throwing water bottles at these officers.